Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Tuesday night, you know where we're going to be, and that's right here on V-Speed for the Lincoln Tech Fall Series and the Hidden Wit Brewery Company Xfinity Series. Well, from the big track to the short track, we're here for some short track racing in the Midwest, Iowa Speedway, and we're going to have over 30 cars here tonight to take the field and see who can try to lock themselves into the playoffs, who's going to get that win, that first win of the season. Who is it going to be? We're going to find out here in just a moment. Last week, exciting finish, big wad up on the final lap, and we got a crazy finish between Chris Sawyer and Tanner Bethea, but I think tonight's going to be a whole lot different. It's all about skill, what you can do in a track like this. You're going to have to really wheel these cars around all night long. I want to thank our sponsor, Hidden Wit Brewery. As you can see, lights, sun's down here at Iowa, and we are getting ready to grid up. So let's jump right into the grid and see who's going to start where here tonight. Well, Mike George had 5 poles at Talladega Superspeedway last week, and this week just barely missed it as Jacob Denson, one of the dominant drivers last season, comes in and takes that 6th pole away from Mike George. He'll start on the front row, though. Jacob Denson will be your Jam Printing Promotions Pole Award winner, so congratulations to him. Row number 2 is going to be Michael Kostick with Jamie Barkas starting in that 4th position. In 5th, going to be Daniel Cunningham with Patrick Dravitt starting in 6th. In 7th, it's going to be Lucas Lyons with Jacob Ellingson in the number 27 Chevrolet Camaro. In 9th, Cody McElwain makes his long-awaited return, and Mickey Isaac rounds out your top 10. In 11th, Chance Taylor, fan favorite in my opinion, best-looking car on the track. He's going to start 11th. Greg Von Traeger going to start in the 12th spot. In 13th is going to be Daniel Blow with Jeremiah Holt in that 14th position. In 15th, Tyler Justice with Brandon Wallace in 16th. 17th, George Jewell with Alex Cruz in the 18th position. 19th, Michael McCarthy. He's looking to avenge Talladega. John Anthony starts in 20th. 21st is going to be Johnny Cofield with Rusty Rafferty in that 22nd spot. 23rd is going to be Travis Bieber, and Matt Knights rounds out your 24th position. 25th, Carson Reed with Timothy Jones in 26th. 27th, Chris Sawyer, last week's winner, and Bobby Germain in 28th. 29th, going to be Andy Kurtz with Keith Haney in that 31st spot. And then rounding out your field, Gary Wright going to start in 32nd. Well, Iowa is all about, we're back to it. We're in the good of this race. It's all about how well you can manage the tires. You're going to manage out the race. Your starting position is going to be incredibly important with it being such a large field. If you're not up at the front, you're going to be in trouble. Let's take a look at your race analysis here. 120 laps here tonight. Pit road speed of 40 miles an hour. 4 tire sets available. We're going to have to take care of those tires at night. It's a little bit cooler. Tires won't be much of an issue, but you don't want to use those things too early. And 2 green, white checkered attempts. 80% fuel load should tighten the car up just a tad bit. Of course, being set up as always. All right, well, Iowa, very, very interesting track. It is all about how you get through the middle of the corner on the exit. You got to bump into turn 1 and 2 that can be pretty dangerous. Passing going to be incredibly difficult. I think if you're trying to pass on the bottom, someone's on the outside, it's going to be up. But Chris Sawyer, can he win 2 in a row? Will Jacob Denson, Mike George, who are out front right now, will they strike while the iron's hot, get a win? But we're getting ready to go green. 120 laps here from Iowa. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Hope y'all are excited to go. I know I am. Barney, green flag. Hidden Wit Brewery Company. We're green here at Iowa. Well, so far, so good, but up front, it is a battle. But Mike George gonna power it up off of turn number 1 and, turn number 3, and he's gonna take the lead. Then you go back here. That's Jamie Barkus. That's almost a 3-wide battle for about 5th position. So Mike George able to, regardless of that starting position, make that outside work. That outside is very, very strong. But I can tell you right now, it's tire saving going to be a big deal tonight. Who can save tires the best? That's always a thing. And you know, you hear a lot of folks talk about saving tires. Well, I'm going to just back off, let everybody go and save tires. You can't do that. Not with 30 cars in the field. You're not able to do that. You have to kind of find that middle ground. And that's where the best drivers come from. They find the middle ground that says, hey, I need to hold on to as many positions as I can, but also save a little bit more than the next guy. That's all you have to do. If you're running in second, you got to save more than the leader, you know. But you don't want to give up too many spots. And you can see that right here with Denson really fighting hard to hang on to that second place and try to run back down Mike George, who has kind of jumped out to an early half-second lead, but now has started to kind of fall back to these guys, especially as they get single file. And I can tell you right now, this is the true test. You know, Talladega, anybody has an opportunity, but this is going to be the true test of who has got the championship trophy in their target, who has got the opportunity to do that. And Jacob Denson all last season was just incredible, and he was able to win a few races, made it to the final round of the playoffs, and he was in contention to win almost every single week. So expecting that to continue, but new players, Mike George, Lucas Lyon, those guys are going to make big waves. Then you go back 4th and 5th. I mean, the whole top 10 is heavy hitters. We're not talking about slouches throughout this field. This is a stout field. So I expect to see great racing all season long. But so far, so good. And look at Lucas Lyon. He is up 4 spots from where he started. no surprise there. I mean, it's well documented, and I think I mentioned it almost every single race that he's in. He's very aggressive early on. He tries to get those positions, and a lot of times he cashes in on that. The old caution though out. Caution out on the speedway as Jeremiah Holt has gone around, and that brings out our first caution here on lap 7. Go back and see what happened to Jeremiah here as he had the 3, that's McCarthy, and the 99 of Brandon Wallace. They were almost in a 3-wide situation here. Coming off of turn 4, everything looks okay. Oh, wow, then right across the bumper of the 3. Really couldn't see what happened there. Maybe we'll go back and get a better angle, but you can see a little bit of contact made right here. And that right there is just the difference in lines. It looks like the 3 turned down on Holt, but I think, they're racing really hard here, and I think the 3 just expected the Jeremiah to go down on entry here. But yeah, I mean, tough deal. I mean, Jeremiah Holt got the worst of it. And I don't really think that was as much his fault. Go on board here with Martin. Kind of take a look at his steering wheel. We're under caution. Nobody's going to go down pit road likely unless they just want to. And we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. That's a little for the final lap, being aggressive, but I hate to be critical, but for Michael there, you got to think, well, we're 7 laps in. No need to be too overboard, but hey, just a racing incident. I definitely don't think it was on purpose. Hopefully, Jeremiah Holt can go down pit road, get that fast repair, and get back out there. He's gonna need it. We do have a fast repair, and he does get that brand new fresh car, so he'll be down 1. That's why we give those fast repairs. It wasn't his fault. He gets another opportunity at it, which is a cool thing about virtual racing. You get to go down pit road, get a fresh car, go back out there and continue to compete. A lot of these guys, we all have hobbies, and you look forward to those hobbies. And when you go and you're ready for it, you've been thinking about it. Well, man, I can't wait for that race tonight. That Hidden Wit Brewery Company Xfinity Series on V Speed. Can't wait to get my 73 car out there, and then somebody turns you and you wreck your car. Boy, it sure does ruin your night. But outside of the Friday Truck Series, Goat Locker allows for 1 fast repair, 1 mulligan if that does happen. And so Jeremiah Holt, instead of his race being done, he gets to go back out there and race it again. Now, the big thing here is you got to keep your emotions in check. You don't want to get up there feeling slighted by the 3, put yourself in now another worse position. Just got to race on. So we'll see if Holt can get it back together. He's probably frustrated and upset, but that is name of the game when it comes to racing here. Let's take a look at our driver cams here tonight. We got Jake Ellingson, Patrick Drabick. They always giving their perspectives, and we definitely appreciate that. We got Mickey Isaac. Look, I don't know what he's doing. I hope it's legal, but I don't know if he might be trying to smoke a credit card, see if he can get a couple dollars out of it. And taking him a nice sip of some sort of beverage. All right, let's reset those. Get ready to go back green. Mike George is going to be on the outside. This time he will have control of the restart. And so he should be able to get going. I'm not aware of Iowa at night really having any issues with any tire spin, but you do want to be careful with that. And you can see some guys really trying to keep those brakes up. You see guys kind of shimmy back and forth sometimes under caution. In real life, that's to clean tires off. It does nothing here on iRacing, but that jumping forward, hitting the brakes, you think, well, that seems stupid. Actually does heat up the front tire, so there is some sort of benefit from it. We'll see if Lucas Lyons is able to put it to use right here. Pace car going to pull off, though, into the Geico restart zone. Mike George with the lead, going to get a great jump here as Denton now going to be side by side with Lucas Lyons as they go barreling down into turn number 1. I think Lucas is going to really drive it in there, and he does this time. Wasn't able to get clear of Denton last time by, and now he does. So now Lucas Lyons up to the 2nd position, and now going to set his sights on Mike George. Lucas has been the most aggressive driver, and, I've said it 100 times and 1,000 times. If he ever figures out how to harness it where that aggression early on doesn't hurt his tires, he is going to win every single race he ever joins. But right now, my worry, does he burn the tires up? History says yes, but hey, tonight could be a different story. On the track, 79 degrees, so it's nice and cool. Those tires can take a little bit more beating than it would if it was 120 degrees out there. So we'll see what he can do. Right now, he's not quite as fast as Mike George last time by, about a tenth slower. But he is not going to let him get away. Let's check back here in the field. We got some really nice battles. You got the 15 and the 27. Jamie Barkus, Jacob Ellington side by side. Then you've got Tyler Justice behind them and Alex Cruz. So Goldwalker kind of running this out right outside the top 10. And they're going to get it single file. Right now, your highest running Goatlocker driver is Patrick Drabbit. He is in that 07. And man, I tell you what, I wanted to talk a little bit about this in the podcast last night, and shout out to Pat and Jamie for joining. Goat Talk Live last night. We had a great time, great conversation. If you want to go check that out, please do. It's one of the fastest view count videos on B-Speed in its history, so in the last day. So go check that out. Really cool to see what's going on. But right now, watching Patrick Drabbit, look at that paint scheme. Didn't get to talk about this, but they do know how to put on some really nice schemes, and that Hidden Whip Brewery 07 machine is looking really good. Right behind him, Craig Bontrager, a big mover in the race. Started in the 12th spot. He has moved up to the 7th position. You can see him running sort of a higher line. I like that. Iowa does allow for running around the bottom or running right in that middle groove. You'll see some guys run the outside. Look at him here in turns 3 and 4. Working that outer groove, trying to get the best run they can get, which I think will become more prevalent as the tire run moves on. See him running that middle line. There's a seam there. A little bit of progressive banking here, but those seams can really help turn the car. You get that left front, left sides below that seam, which are those little lines you see. You see the dotted lines, and you also see the black line sort of inside of those dotted lines. Those are seams. And the asphalt's a little bit different on each side of the seam, and depending on the track, can really help the car rotate just a little bit. Well, up front, it is getting tight as Lucas Lyon has gotten to the back bumper of Mike George, is now putting pressure on that 29 machine. So we got a battle for the lead here on coming to lap 20, and Lucas really putting in some. I mean, the car was rotating something special coming off 3 and 4. He really laid it down. We'll see if he can make it stick. Down here on the bottom, it's going to be tough, although caution rolls on the speedways. Oh, my goodness, Jeremiah Holt again involved, and that's what I said he couldn't do, which is make contact after that initial deal. He's already used his fast repair, and, man, I hate to say it, but he's going to have a lot of fixing to do on this one. Let's go back and see what happened. 73. Gotten around the 3 car again. Oh, and Andy Kurtz actually had nothing to do with the 3 car. Andy Kurtz had already spun out before that. He was 3 wide. Got Johnny Cofield below him. And the 57 of John Anthony on the outside. And as they come off the corner at just 3 wide racing. And Andy Kurtz going to go take a ride through the infield. Go back and get on a sort of a blimp, and we can kind of see Andy Kurtz kind of bouncing between the 2 drivers. You see he's going to turn down the track and just try to give Johnny some space, and moves up, and honestly a rare mistake there from the 48, unless there was net code that I really can't see, which can happen. You don't see Andy Kurtz kind of make these type of mistakes, but there may have been a little bit of net code there. It's hard to say. But regardless, big contact there. That's, oh my goodness. Johnny Cofield takes a tumble down the track. Good grief. That ain't good. Watch that from his onboard. As we're going to watch again, it's the 81 of Keith Haney that gets caught up into this, runs right into him. Nowhere to go. And then you go on board with and man, look at this. Goes right over multiple tumbles down the track, and he's still in there. His virtual guy's still in there with the death grip on that on that car. He's gonna have to tow likely, so he's gonna go multiple laps down as he waits on that fast repair. But yeah, just some tight racing. Iowa's very, very difficult to pass. These passes don't come easy, especially in the back of the pack where dirty air is such a big problem. But we got a few guys that came down pit road. Lance Ripka, Michael McCarthy came down for fuel only. Lucas Line gave up that front spot that he was about to take from Mike George, and both him and Mike George come down and take 4 tires here on lap 20. Chance Taylor, Keith Haney comes down and takes a fast repair, no tires. Tyler Justice, George Jewell, Carson Reed, Matt Knights, all came down 4 tires in fuel. So they will be down to just 2 sets remaining in the pits. I think it's a little bit early to take tires, if I'm honest. I'm a little bit nervous about that call, but you know, if we do get some green flag racing, they will have a really nice advantage here. The only problem is right now, Lucas and Michael are in that mess. You know, it just in a gaggle of cars. They had the track position. Now they're going to be back here in 18th and 19th. So going to have to be careful and try to use these tires, that advantage, just ever so slightly. But if we do get a long run here, long green flag run, you know, that will be really nice to have 20 lap pressure times. We'll see just how big a difference 4 tires makes. That'll be sort of our barometer for how that all plays out. Glad to have everybody in chat tonight. I see everybody being active, cheering on their driver. Please continue that. They can almost feel it sometimes. I feel like the ones that get the most cheers, they can feel it and they start running better. So keep it up. Pace car going to pull off. Jacob Denson, Michael Kostick now on the front row. Denson fires off. Kostick gets a pretty decent jump, but the battle going to be back here for that 3rd spot. Is now, you see Patrick Drabick going to try to fill that outside line to get to the outside of the 91 here on this restart. That outside line is really, really strong. He's able to get clear. Now he's going to maybe put a move here on Kostick. As though he's going to jump up to the outside. And here comes Patrick Drabick. He gets a big run here, but unfortunately, almost makes a little contact there, but Denson doesn't get a great run off the 3. Now they're going to go a little bit of door banging for the lead as now Michael Kostick drives in deep. He's going to try to take over the top spot. Side by side for the lead, Michael Kostick. One of those drivers you won't hear much from. He's not a big talker. He doesn't talk a big game. But man, can he drive a race car. I've seen him get so many wins and just be under the radar. And he knows how to race. He can definitely get it done. Can he make it work on the bottom? I don't know. 27 laps on these tires. He's going to sneak up, back up to the top side, knowing that he's about to get freight trained right in front of Patrick Drabick, who leans on his rear bumper a little bit. Kostick, knowing he wasn't able to make that pass, now he's got to go into defense mode. So now Patrick's got to make the choice. Do I take that inside line? Do I try to make that move there and open myself up to lose many spots? You can see he does get a great run on entry and through the middle of the corner, but Kostick, you'll see right here, look at the run that he gets off the top side. So right now, the 07 has made his bed because look how many cars are lined up on the outside. If he's not able to complete this pass, he's going to end up outside the top 5 if he can't squeeze in. We'll see if he squeezes in right here. He does. Smart move by the 07 as Craig Bontrager might have let him in just a little bit. But it is so tough. You got to go down to the bottom, and you've got to purposely make those passes. You cannot dilly-dally around. And right now, great battles going on all over the track. And Lucas Lyon with those fresh tires. Hey, if there's anybody who can make use of them, it's Lucas, who started back in the 18th spot. And he is already up into the 8th spot. He thought about taking it 3 wide, but luckily his teammate was there and elected not to do that as his teammate battling side by side with Jacob Ellingson. Now here he goes through the middle, 3 wide. Oh, and Jacob Ellingson kind of comes up the track. They slow each other up. Jacob not really sure what he's doing. Lucas getting aggressive, knowing that he's got to take advantage of these tires while they still have tread on them. It'll equalize after a certain point, so he's got to be aggressive. And I tell you, aggression sure does seem to transfer. It's like osmosis. it seems to transfer to other drivers when you're aggressive and you drive wildly around them. They seem to kind of meet you where you are. And so got to be careful if you're Lucas. You got the tire advantage, but he's able to get by both those drivers clean. Now he's up to 6th. Mike George not having the luck or the skill to make use of those tires, or maybe just not aggressive enough and just slowly working his way back up through the field. He's up to 12th. But Lucas, man on the mission, now going to make it 3 wide. He ain't playing around. Daniel Blow going to give up that, but caution, though, is out. It looks like Gary Wright has gone around. Jeremiah Holt slow on the track again. Both these drivers get rolling. Let's go see. Maybe we can find out what happened between those two drivers. Here, right here. Looking, watching a battle for 3 wide right in front of him. Down under the 57. Oh, Andy Kurtz again. Andy Kurtz has gone around again, and Gary Wright just runs into him. Go back and see what happened to Andy. Oh, man, Johnny Cofield's going to overdrive the corner and just spins him out. See Johnny just overcooking the entry, trying to hold on to that position. Andy kind of came down to have a better entry down to the corner, and Cofield just overdrives it. He was trying to get down to the bottom, but just could not keep the car pointed and hits the 48. The 48 goes around and makes contact with Gary Wright. Somebody else make contact. You see Jeremiah Holt there at the end, comes sliding in. He was like, gosh, no, I just got this thing fixed. Those are folks coming down pit road. Wild and crazy right now. So everybody coming down pit road to take those tires after they had gotten about 30 laps on it, which seems to be what everybody was kind of shooting for as far as tires go. So you see Tyler Justice sitting here on pit road. He was involved in that incident. He was that driver that made contact at the end. Jeremiah Holt still sitting here getting some damage fixed on that 73 car. And we got some other drivers. Lance Ripka and Michael McCarthy have come down pit road yet again and taken 4 tires. So those guys only have 1 set left in the pit. So a little mistake, I think, out of assuming... Yeah, a little mistake out of these guys. I think they're probably going to regret that by the time we get to the end of this race. Tire limits, sometimes you forget to check that kind of stuff. And I think that Lance and Michael are going to be probably hurting pretty bad come towards the end of this race. They've already come down and taken 2 out of the 4 sets of tires, and we're not even a third of the way through this race. So we'll see how that plays out. Not quite sure. Up front, though, Lucas Lyon, Mike George, who pitted 14 laps to go, are now, this kind of hurts their strategy, I think. I mean, it's about the worst thing that happened, where a caution comes out and everybody behind them, everybody they were chasing and racing around, now going to come down and get fresh tires. So if we had a full fuel run, we could be, honestly, a full fuel run could be pretty close to the end of this race. They're going to be on old tires throughout. So what they're hoping for now is that we go green for about 40 laps and then caution come back out, and then they can equalize on those tires. Lucas Lyon, Mike George, Chance Taylor, George Jewell, Carson Reed, and Travis Bieber are all out on older tires, 15 laps. Well, all right, we should get the 1 to go this time, and then we'll get back racing here in the Hidden Wit Brewery Company Xfinity Series. And it's so cool to have Hidden Wit on last night. Got a little chance to talk to Pat and Jamie about that last night. Really cool. Hidden. We'll kind of talk over their sponsorship right now and give you the read for it. Hidden Wit Brewery Company was born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the outside world. Our focus in the beginning has always been to craft drinkable beers that you love to enjoy. And it's more than just a tasting pint. Hidden Wit, we invite you to stay a while to connect with old friends and new, share a plate of food while you share stories, make memories. They're majority veteran owned and the title sponsor of the Xfinity series. So really cool to have them on board. I really butchered that read, but we'll get that right. Got one eyeball going one way, one going the other. But we're doubled up, ready to go green. Hope y'all are having a good time so far. This racing has been really good. 30 plus cars on a short track. There's going to be some beat banging, so nothing out of the ordinary so far. Lucas Lyon gets a really good jump. Looks like he chose the outside and makes perfect use of it. Sails off into the distance. He knows that he's got fresh tires. He's got a little bit of a buffer to those, but he's got to go. As, man, Patrick Drabick, not wasting any time, goes right down to the inside of the 36. Now he's up to 4th spot with those 4 tires. And now going to try to drive up to the front. And, man, look back here. Golly, this is where the cold front meets the warm front. Is you got fresh tires, you got older tires, and they're all going to kind of meet right here. Everybody doing a great job, though, as we're 3 wide here at Iowa. That's what I love about tracks that can handle multiple grooves, is that you're not kind of stuck in one spot. And you can run 3 wide, but these guys all over each other. Bieber trying to hang on, but you can see those old tires making it very, very difficult. But that's the when you come down on lap 20, that's kind of what happens. And fortunate for both those drivers. Up front, Patrick Drabick has gotten around Chance Taylor. Chance dives down to the inside, trying to fight back, and man, gonna make contact with the 07. These guys racing really hard. Oh, we got contact back here. The 17 makes contact. 3 wide they were for a moment. They hang on to it. That was almost disastrous. And Patrick Drabick able to get clear of Chance Taylor. Chance just struggling with those older tires, fighting hard. But, you know, in these moments, you don't really want to make too much contact. You're just going to have to bleed into where you end up. You want to fight, but you don't want to put yourself in a bad spot. Almost makes contact, race into contact with the 07. Here comes Patrick Drabick. Got those fresh tires. He's going to look down to the inside of Mike George. Mike not going to fight him. The 07 now going to move up to 2nd place, and he is looking for the lead. Jacob Denson not too far behind. He's also on those fresh tires, but Patrick Drabick has been the one to make it through the field the quickest. And it takes skill to do that and do it cleanly, but also sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, what lane you start in, who goes, who has a great jump, who doesn't. And Drabick is able to get all of the boxes checked, and now he is looking for the lead. Down to the inside goes Patrick Drabick on Lucas Lyons. Lucas going to drive down on his door, not going to give him any space to make this pass. Why would you? You're racing for the lead. Down to the bottom goes the 07. Got the tire advantage through the middle. Can he slide up in front? Do a little slider on Lucas Lyon. Not quite able to do it just yet, but he does have a nose out and head. Gonna dive down to the bottom. 1 and 2 is not as good on the bottom. There is a bump there, but Lucas does not get a great drive off the corner. And Patrick Drabick out front in the Hidden Wit 07 machine, putting this thing out front. Now he's going to take over the lead, get him a all-important late lap-led bonus. And now going to set sail here as Jacob Denson is now up 3rd. '79, one of those Michael Kostick-esque type drivers where he is, he's very, very good. He is sneaky good. We kind of surprised by him last season, kind of joined up, just runs the Xfinity series, and man, he was so fast, especially on long runs, man. The 79, I think there was one race, I want to say it was Vegas, where he just completely waxed the field by like 20 seconds. It was really unbelievable. Don't think he's quite going to be able to do that tonight, but he is going to drive down to the inside Lucas line fighting on those older tires, and it's just crazy how big a difference 13 laps are making. But Lucas going to have to save the tires the best he can. Got the track position. These tires will equalize in about 20 laps or so, but you really don't want to put yourself in a position where you use them up. Back through the field, we got these crazy battles going on. You got the 114, Travis Bieber, who started up in the top 5 on this restart, is falling all the way through the field. Just caught. Having to take that, not take tires there because he took tires on lap 20, and you can see what it's doing to him. He is falling all the way back to the 16th position. And right in front of him is your winner from last week, Chris Sawyer, in that 21 car. He is up 12 positions from where he started. He is definitely moving. Let's go on board with Chris Sawyer as he's watching right in front of him. That's George Jewell in the 36. McConey setup shop. Machine going to go down to the inside as he gets a little bit loose. Lance Ripka right in front of him. And these guys are battling it out. Chris going to go right down to the inside, but not going to be able to quite make the move. You see how tight you get on the bottom. And when I say tight, he is getting on the throttle, and the front end is just pushing out to the wall as he is gassing it up, trying to carry that speed off the corner. The outside line can open up the steering wheel, which just means you turn it to the right a little bit. You don't have to keep try to fight the car to keep the nose pointed to the left. That outside line just really strong as the tires start to wear. They make a little bit of contact there, but that's what we love about short track racing. You can door bang. Here comes Michael McCarthy. He's going to try to make this thing 3 wide. Ain't no try. He's going to do it. He gets to the outside as Sawyer was able to get around the 21, but now they're going to be 3 wide as here comes George Jewell down to the inside to make it 3 wide. See this battle right here. You can see Keith Haney now joining the fray as he is going to get to the back bumper of the 21. McCarthy was able to get around that 21 and start to move forward. Man, I tell you, the 21, you can see him. He is almost slinging that car into the corner. They have his brake bias set really low to help point that car with the brake. You can kind of see. You can set that thing pretty far down, and it'll help rotate the car through the corner. We'll see as it goes into 3 and 4 here if how bad he's doing that. Watch this. Listen to the engine in this Xfinity car. That's why we love it. That right there is why I can't imagine we ever have electric NASCAR racing. I couldn't imagine a world where that is the case. And these guys are driving hard. I tell you, they are driving really deep into the corner. I think that's the issue that they're going to have is they're just driving so hard into the corner, so much that they're using brake bias to rotate the car, just slinging it in there. You can see it just kind of upsets the car's handling when you do that too often. So up front, though, still Patrick Dravick by a second as Denson is in second spot, but Michael Kostick right behind him. On board with Kostick here as he's trying to maybe get up there and make his bid for the lead. Woo, down to the inside, gets a great run through turn 1 and 2. Jonathan Cofield said, ain't Michael Kostick in the 4? Yeah, looks like he is in the 4. I don't know what the question is about, but look right here, he is in the 4, so I'm not really sure I see 4 on everything. So yeah, Michael Kostic in the 4th. Kostic continues to try to battle here with Denson. That outside line becomes really strong once the tires start to get a little bit of wear on them. Really need to get to the outside to make sure. We're kind of spread out here. You look through the field there. Everybody's starting to spread out, so we might be able to get some green flag racing here. Ooh, I don't know who that was. Somebody in the wall. I think that was Craig Bontrager was in the wall on the front stretch trying to make this thing go, and he was struggling here. Lucas has fallen back to the 6th spot. He is in the number 18, still on 40-lap old tires, and honestly, it's been a win for him. He was up there battling, and decides to come down and take tires on lap 20, and then had to stay out on the next caution. So while some drivers like Travis Bieber has fallen all the way back to 20th, Lucas has done a great job. Mike George as well in that 8th position, maintaining, and now the tires will start to equalize a little bit more as we move forward into this run, and they won't be as fast, but at least they won't continue to lose spots over and over again. So hoping for a caution soon to be able to get those cars back moving forward. But so far so good for Lucas. It was a bad thing that happened. He's been able to turn it into something good. Daniel Blow, though, in that 17, looking down to the inside, trying to get a little run here on the 18, try to take over that spot. For the 2nd spot, Michael still right on the back bumper. So incredibly hard to make these passes. Go down to the inside, you try to gas it up. The tires, the right side tires just are overheated, don't have the grip level that they had at the beginning of the run. Just not able to roll the center, drive in as deep, and then get on throttle, hold it all the way to the exit. And especially once you try to go down to the inside, the car really wants to use the whole track. So honestly, Denson not really in danger of losing this spot. It looks like Kostic going to go to the inside, but you can see Kostic just wasn't able to pick the throttle back up, had to breathe it a little bit. So right now, knowing how good Denson is, unless Denson makes a small mistake, has to lift, gets a little bit loose, I don't think he's in danger of losing this 2nd spot. Kostic is going to have to ride there on the bumper. He's going to continue trying, of course. He feels like he's faster, but I don't see him making this pass. Just look at the run that Denson able to get down the straightaway. So those tires have started to get hot. And so now Kostic's got to find a way around that doesn't involve driving down to the bottom, because he's abusing that right front every time he does that. So going to have to figure out another way, be patient. Let's move into lap 70. We're clicking them off pretty quick here. Just about 50 laps to go as they cross the line. Patrick driving out front by 1.2 seconds. Michael Kostic, Jacob Denson battling it out here for the 2nd. Go back here to 8th and 9th. Jamie Barkus down to the inside of Mike George. Now, everything I said does not apply here because George is on those older tires. So Barkus, I think, has a pretty good opportunity to take this spot, considering his tires are a little bit newer. So that's the only difference. George, even with that tire, to see the run that George is going to get down the straightaway, George's not going to give this up. He can't afford to give up spots. You can see Barkus putting a little pressure through the middle of the corner and gassing it up, trying to get his hidden wit brewery company number 15 machine a little bit further up inside the top 10. And he does. So that's what it takes, 13 lap fresher tires to make a pass on the bottom, and he's able to do it. So move Barkus up into the 8th spot. We'll We'll go back further in the field. We got a nice battle still back in this 17th, 20th position. We got Chris Sawyer, George Jewell, Brandon Wallace, and Travis Bieber all battling it out. Right in front of them, you see Alex Cruz. So guys all over each other trying to get those spots. And ooh, up here at the front, Michael Kostick trying to make a move there. Got dead even with him. As you can see, that outside line, again, able to prevail. We'll watch here is Jacob Ellingson on the outside. Oh, they're going to make a little bit of contact here off the corner. Bontrager had to let off the throttle. And, oh, man, Bontrager going to drive into the corner. Try to root the 27 up out of the groove, and he does that. Ellingson not happy about it, gives him a little shove. And now we'll go down to the inside. And he's going to gas it up, return the favor, but it's actually going to work in Bontrager's favor as Ellingson gets a little bit loose, but he's able to save it. And that is just a product of the way that this track races. You know, people have always asked me, well, why do you hate Iowa? This is why. This is why. We saw the racing that you get at the beginning. The first 20 laps on tires, man, everybody's driving all over the place. It's awesome. But once he gets to this part right here, it's so difficult. Bontrager didn't want to run into Jacob Ellingson. It's because he's so tight trying to make that move and try to get to the inside of somebody that it just, once you get tight, once you get going like that, you're not able to really, you can't get off the gas. It only gets tighter. Now we got some guys coming down pit road. We got Mike George, Cody McElwain, and Chance Taylor all coming down to make a stop, which could be their final stop here of the race here as we have just a little bit over 40 laps to go. Patrick Dravitt going to give up the lead. He comes down pit road. So everybody's making their bed here as a lot of folks are coming down pit road. You know, if you want to win the race, this is what you have to do. But the danger of a caution is always going to loom here. These guys can stay out. These guys up front can stay out a long time. I think we'll probably run another 15 to 20 laps if I had to guess. And if a caution comes out, these guys are going to be stuck and lapped down. So we'll see how this all plays out as Patrick Dravitt, 4 tires and fuel. He's going to take off, get back out on track. But your leader now is Michael Kostick, who stays out on the racetrack. Oh, somebody is in the grass there. I don't know who that is. I can't really find them. I don't know who. Somebody was in the grass. It might have been Mike George. If it was. Yeah, it was Mike George. Mike George on those fresh tires. You also got to be careful with that. Those tires not up to temperature. And he spins it down to the infield and almost caused that caution that I was talking about. Look at him. Trying to save it. He does a great job. And he's going to get that thing back going. But, man, that's a tough deal here. Going to fall all the way back to 26 because of that. Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber, multiple folks coming down pit road. Rusty Rafferty is pitted. Last week's winner, Chris Sawyer, has come down pit road. Michael McCarthy as well. So a lot of folks coming down pit road. And right now, Michael's still waiting on Michael Kostick to make his stop. As you can see, these guys on fresh tires starting to make up the difference. At this point, I think if you're Kostick, you really got to just run as far as you can and hope that that caution does come out. There's still a potential for it almost every single lap. The caution does come out. He'll get to come down, get 4 tires, and be able to hold on to that really good track position. You can see George Jewell all the way behind him, trying to get around him. Kostick maybe trying to pit here. Not quite sure. No, he's not going to pit here because, man, here comes Jewell down to the inside. Here comes Mike George as well, trying to unlap themselves. Mike George is 2 laps down. George Jewell now just 1. Out of this group up at the front, Greg Bontrager, first one to come down pit road. Lucas Lyon has been on the track for 61 laps. So caution! Caution out on the speedway. And it's Mike McCarthy and Gary Wright who go around, and that is not what you wanted to see. Oh, my goodness. Patrick Dravitt still a lap down. There were 8 cars on the lead lap. And that is the caution you didn't want to see unless you were Michael Kostick, Lucas Lyons, Daniel Cunningham, Bandits doing the right call. And it all started somewhere around in here. You got 3 of Michael McCarthy here. Just came out of pit road. Don't know if it was the same issue that happened. Gonna get loose, spins on the front straightaway. And that brought out the caution. Just barely. But that was enough to trigger the iRacing caution. And so now, Michael Kostick, fruits of his labor, get to come down and look, nobody around him as those lap cars are going to take the wave around. And he gets to come down and take 4 tires and fuel. Patrick Drabick should get the lucky dog, I believe, as he was the first driver a lap down. But he'll have to start at the rear of the field. Or at least, if anybody takes the wave around, he'll be at the rear of the field and in front of the wave arounds. So, man, frustrating if you're one of those guys who pitted. It was the right call. But like they say in the broadcast booth in real life, if I could tell you when the cautions were going to fall, I could tell you the right strategy. And, man, wow, it played into the Bandits. Motorsports guys planned perfectly. They're going to come out, and it looks like they're going to hold on to their track position. And Patrick Drabick will have to fall back, I believe, behind. Once we get the one to go, he'll fall back behind all of those drivers who just came down pit road, I do believe, because he should be the lucky dog. So wild way for this race to kind of turn on its head. But that's short track racing. That's what you kind of, you always know it's going to happen. It's looming. You hope, if you're Drabick, you hope it goes green. He had a great opportunity there to get the win. If it stayed green, he was, kind of setting sail there. Perfect pit strategy. And now we've got a different type of race. Kostick and Lyons going to be your top 2. And I think, honestly, this plays into Lucas Lyons' hands. I think he has been the best on fresh tires. He has been extremely aggressive, and I think he knows what he's doing on these restarts. So I think this is going to play really well into his hands. I think Kostick's the one that's going to have to come up and match him if he's going to have an opportunity to get a win. I think Lucas can make the moves. He's willing to put his car wherever he needs to get a position, and I don't think Kostick can really let him go if he plans on winning this race. So we'll see what those guys plan to do. Drabick showing in 3rd place right now. He was the lucky dog, so I don't know if he'll have to fall back the end of the field or not. We're going to see here, but Drabick will be at a 9-lap disadvantage for tires. So we'll see how the lineup works. It's going to be a little bit confusing here for just a moment as everybody's trying to figure out what they need to do. The 52 there of Lance Ripka is the first driver a lap down. They'll have to go around, let all the lead lap cars, 13 cars on the lead lap. Denson, Ellingson, Cody McElwain, Jamie Barkas, Keith Haney all take waiver rounds. And then, yeah, of course, what I was wondering, Patrick Drabick going to have to fall back to the end of the longest line, or at the end of all the lap cars. He's got to go all the way back here and let those drivers go. Hopefully we do get a hold if we need another lap to kind of sort this stuff out. So why is Drabick falling so far back? Well, he's got the lucky dog. That means you get to come down pit road if you want to. He elected not to do that, but he still has to fall to the end of the lead lap. And so all those drivers who took the wave around, now they will come and be behind him. So he didn't take his advantage, which was the pit there. And I think he may have just forgotten that he could do that. And unfortunately, it kind of didn't take that advantage when he had it. So he's going to be on the same tires as the wave rounds, which are coming around right now, led by Jake Benson. Lights are still on the pace car. We'll likely get the one to go here as everybody is kind of getting lined up everywhere they need to be. A lot of wave rounds there trying to get themselves back in lead lap. And there's 13 at the moment. Although from 7th on back, they have a little bit older tires. Not much, but we saw that 13 laps made a big difference earlier. So these guys going to hope we go about 10 laps or so and then have to come back down pit road. We'll see if that's the case, but lots of stuff going on, and I think these guys up front, these top 6, have a great opportunity here to get a great finish, or maybe even a win. We'll see what happens here as we're getting ready to go green. Gonna have 30 laps to go when they take the green flag, and Kostick will have control of the restart. He picks the outside line. Saw Lucas Lyons do that earlier in the race. It worked out really well. So Kostick gonna take that top spot. As they did extend the caution just to give everybody an attempt to kind of get lined up here. A lot of confusion about where everybody should be, but I think everything worked out like it was supposed to. Wave rounds have to be at the back of the field, so they're actually about 3 seconds back. Here's 7th place, Jacob Denson, and then I'm going to go up to 6th place, Bobby Germain, and that's the running order. And that's because they took the wave around. They have to line up behind all of the lap down cars, where Patrick Drabick is at the end of the longest line, as they're still trying to get everything settled here. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll see if they extend it again. And I think Patrick actually gets screwed by the lengthening of the yeah, Patrick, they should not, if they once they extended that caution, it put Patrick to the end of the longest line of the lead lap, and so he had to go back even further. He shouldn't have gone back. Should be in 7th place right now, but just too much confusion going on with the way things turned out there. But green flag is back out, though. We'll just deal with it, I'm assuming. But yeah, Patrick should not have gone all the way back there. He shouldn't have done it. But here comes Lucas Lyon. We talked about it being aggressive. Then immediately gets a nasty run through 1 and 2. Now he's right on the back bumper of Michael Kostick. This is the battle for the win. Lucas has shown he's got a lot of speed early. And Michael Kostick match it, and hang on to this top spot. We've seen that inside line work really well early. And Kostick hang on to it. Down through 1 and 2. Lucas trying to make it work. Tires still a little bit cool there. Get them up to 10th the next lap or so. We'll see what they've got. Now both of them go up to the outside. Kostick not going to give him the opportunity to get to the outside as they continue to battle. Cunningham, Brandon Wallace, they get it settled out between them. Now Cunningham up into 3rd spot. They caution back out on the raceway. And Jeremiah Holt, Andy Kurtz involved again. Caution back out. That'll kind of reset everything. See Michael McCarthy involved in that again. Oh man, the 73 gives him a little shove. Not happy. Some extracurricular activities as Holt. Not happy with the 3. Gives him another shove. As we'll go back and see what happened there. Almost 4 wide there. And McCarthy gets into the 78. They've already had a little bit of contact earlier in the race. You can see George Jewell. Andy Kurtz just spins out trying to avoid the thing. These guys already made some contact earlier in the race, so obviously tempers flaring. And go down to the inside. Picks up the throttle, and 73 comes down the track. And you know, the 73 is upset with the 3, but man, I gotta say that 73 did kind of come down the track just a little bit. But watch this as they get things back going. Little shot taken by Jeremiah Holt there. Gonna give him a shove right here, tell him he is not happy with him. That brings out yet another caution, and Kostick loving this. Lucas really needed to. He needs a good amount of time. He's going to need every single lap to make this pass. Unless Kostick makes a mistake, Lucas is going to really have to put in the work to get around him. He needs these green flag laps, so caution laps are not going to help this 18. Really good for the 4, but the 18 going to struggle here as he's watching all of his opportunities just click by under caution. I don't think we'll see anybody come down pit road anymore. Denson does come down pit road, takes 4 tires. Not a lot of folks on the lead lap. I like this call. Come down and get 4 tires, especially towards the end of this thing. We know it's not going to be the final caution. Cody McElwain also comes down. We haven't spoken much about Cody. Cody is he's been out for a while, man. We're glad to see him back. It's a name that I always like to see in the field. And, man, he can get up there and win races. But just like anything, you take time away, it's hard to get back into it. But he has got some great potential. Get him a couple races under his belt, he'll be got that GLR number 6 back out front, I'm sure, before too long. But I like Jacob Denson's position. I think there's going to be a few more cautions. His thing is just go as hard as he can. He's going to have to take 2 or 3 wide, take every spot that he can get on every restart. We may get 2 laps caution, 2 laps caution. So he's going to have to really take advantage. But I like this call, coming in, taking 4 tires, and being there right outside the top 10 with fresh tires. Try to move up through here and win this race, because we've seen so far, if tires are equal, passing is really difficult. So having that tire advantage could play out in his favor. That it could be a race-winning move. But Kostick out front, as lights are still on the pace car. Right now, Bandits 1, 2, 3, and 4. Got Mickey Isaac there in 5th. Bobby Germain sitting there in 6th. You got Ellingson in 7th. Barkus in 8th. Chance Taylor in 9th. And Keith Haney rounds out the top 10. Give a little bit more perspective about Patrick Dravitt, because I was really spinning my wheels trying to explain that as we were getting ready to go green. He takes the lucky dog. And what that gives you is you go around with 1 to green or 2 to green. You're able to go down pit road and take a pit stop and not lose a lap and not be penalized, other than you have to be at the end of the longest line. With the wave around cars that came around, he lines up in front of the wave arounds, but behind the lap cars that had already pitted. And that should settle the deal. But when they extended the caution, there is a bug in iRacing that when you do that, it triggers that lucky dog go to the end of the longest line again. And so he had to go to the end of that lead lap scenario. So that's what happened there. It's a bug that happens. What should happen going forward is Patrick Dravitt stays where he is. If they do ever need to extend it, they clear his black flag and he can continue on. But there was a lot going on there. It's hard to make those calls. And that's a pretty rare thing that happens. So that's why Patrick had to fall all the way back right now in 13th spot. But here we go. Just a little bit over 20 laps to go here in the Hidden Wit Brewery Company. Oh, my goodness, Xfinity Series. Kostick with control of the race. Going to be on the outside. Gets a great jump. Lucas, they have spun the tires just a little bit. Now the battle is going to be here for second. Brandon Wallace out to the outside. He's going to try to get the run around the 18. Cannot do it just yet, but he will take third as they all get clear. Here they go. Lucas looks down to the inside, trying to cut off the 99's run. The 18 gets a nice run from middle exit. Kostick, not the best run down the straightaway that he needs. Can Lucas slide up in front of him? 1 and 2 has been really good for the top side. I don't think Lucas could do it here. Kostick gets the run off the top side. Lucas going to continue to battle. The 99 going to watch from about a car length back. He's looking down the inside. Now Lucas going to try the middle lane. Try to keep his momentum up. The bottom side will work in 3 and 4, but you lose it all in 1 and 2, so it's so tough. What do you do if you're the 18? That's your teammate. You can't really feel comfortable about giving him the bumper. So he's going to have to continue to work to find a way. He's going to drive up, stay behind him. Now he's going to try that middle lane off the corner to keep his momentum up. But you see he had to lift. And Kostick with the run off the top side. 18 laps to go. Jacob Denson Up to the 7th position now on those fresh tires. Can he get back to the front? He is coming. Checking in on Jacob Denson here. He is in 7th place. Look at the runs as he is getting there 3 wide behind him. Cody McElway down to the inside of Chance Taylor. '79, not really anywhere to go right now as they're almost 2 or 3 wide. See, Brandon Wallace is falling back a couple spots. Here comes Lucas Lyon, dive down to the inside. Got to make it work. Can he make it stick? Off the corner, cannot, has to lift. Big lift out of the 18. Well, they better get going because I'll tell you right now, Jacob Denson is coming. Him and Cody McElwain are moving quickly through the field. Now I think they're going to be battling side by side. They are. There they are right there. Denson's got the outside line, but Brandon Wallace is there side by side with Ellingson. Nowhere for Denson to go. He's going to have to make it work. Cody McElwain, will he go 3 wide? Yes, he will. I bet he will. Not this time. Denson now is going to have to make that executive decision. I'm going to have to go 3 wide if you do not settle this. But Brandon Wallace able to get away. But Wallace has been running that outside line. What will Denson do here? Nowhere to go for the 79. He can't make use of those tires at all. But here comes the 6. He's going to make it 3 wide here. Hell yeah, he is. Down to the inside goes Cody McElwain. 79 going to get to the back bumper of the 99. Cannot make this pass work. Now Cody McElwain side by side with Denson. Down to the inside. Now Denson still hung up behind the 99, but the 6 pushes up into Brandon Wallace. Has to lift. Here it goes. Denson down to the bottom. Denson going to slide up just a little bit. There's a car in the wall, but we stay here. Cody McElwain up into the 5th position. He's got the tires. Does he have the time? That's what we don't know. But he is now looking down to the inside of Mickey Isaac. Hold on to your lug nuts. This is about to be exciting, I think. Cody McElwain can't complete this pass. He needs to get by Isaac quickly. He's got the run here. Going to have a great opportunity here in 3 and 4. That bottom has been working really good. There he goes, down to the bottom. 4 fresh tires, now clear for 4th place. Up front is still Costick. Lucas not able to do anything with him. Costick running sort of a maintenance line at this point, where Lucas trying to continue to run, get those big runs off the turns. As they come to almost 10 laps to go, does Cody McElwain have anything left? He was about a 10th and a half faster last lap. That ain't going to be good enough. He's going to have to be better. 3 wide at the line behind him. Here comes Patrick Drabbin. He goes 3 wide. He's driving like he stole it. I love it. Patrick on 4 tires. He's making the moves here at the end of the race. But do they have enough time? Cody McElwain at the line. 2/10 faster that time. He is definitely faster than all 3 of these up here, and they are all within a second of each other. All these guys are teammates. Lucas Lyon, did he burn them up? Now they're going to run side by side. And Cody McElwain, I talked about he's going to need some time. No, all he needs is some tires. He's got plenty of time to make use of it. Down to the inside. Looking to try to take over that 3rd spot. The only problem is he's got 3 teammates in front of him. How easy is it going to be? Looks down to the inside. Trying to make it work, but Cunningham trying to get to the inside of his teammate Lucas Lyon. They're almost 3 wide for the lead. Cody having to push it really hard now. Here comes Cunningham to the inside. Does Cody have anywhere to go? He's going to go up to the outside. Going to follow the 91 through the inside line. Cunningham now through. The run that Lucas gets off the top side, kind of stymied by the 91 who was in front of him. Now here comes Cody McElwain. Down to the inside, he takes over 3rd spot. Now he's looking to take over 2nd. 3 and 4 is where that bottom line has been the best. He's going to get down there, gas it up. Can he complete the pass on the 91? No. They're going to have to play big defense because if Cody McElwain gets loose, Kostick might be in trouble because Cody McElwain will use the bumper. These guys are not teammates. He is willing to get up there. Man, what a way to come back and get a win here in the Xfinity Series. But he's running out of time. Tires starting to fade. 20 laps on these tires. He's going to drive through the whole dang field. It may have burned him up. Cunningham with the run off the top side. Continues to hold that bottom really tough. But he's doing the best that he can. And Cunningham playing great defense on the outside. Cunningham not able to, or Cody not able to make the move. Coming around to 4 laps to go. The battle's going to be for second. Kostick loving this. He's able to continue to put those guys in his rear view mirror. Now Denson is to the inside of Lucas Lyons and actually boots him out of the way as Lucas comes down and tries to pin them down on the bottom. But now Denson is through. Come around. 3 laps to go. Kostick maintains his lead. Cody McElwain out of gas. So he's got plenty of fuel, but he's out of gas when it comes to tires. Just does not have the grip, the advantage he did. He used them up. But can he get second? It's still possible. Down to the inside again. Not able to make the moves he was able to make earlier. Are just not responding. Continues to try to put pressure, but I think Daniel Cunningham is going to be able to hold him off. Those tires have equalized. Denson, both Denson and Drabick not making the lap times they were either. So perfect timing for Michael Kostick as he comes off of turn 4. Barney's got the white flag in his hand. One more lap to go. We're going to see this thing all the way through. No caution will matter, will not affect the outcome of this race. And I told you better watch out for him. He's not flashy. He's not the type of guy to come in here and brag. But he don't do a lot of talking. And he don't need to. Coming off of turn 4, Michael Kostick is going to win here at Iowa. What a race. Holy cow. And Cody McElwain back in his first race in a while. Going to get a podium spot. Daniel Cunningham comes home in second. He had a great race all race long up there. And going to go up here and celebrate with his teammate. Bandits Motorsports 1, 2. See Lucas Lyons coming up, give his teammate a shove. And Patrick Drabick able to come home in 5th position. Wow, holy cow. Woo! Boy, that was a lot of fun. I tell you what, I hate driving Iowa, but I sure do like watching. Great excitement, way to put on a great show. This Tuesday night Xfinity Series is something else. We had a few cautions. Take a look at the race recap here. 5 cautions with 32 drivers, 120 laps. That's pretty dang good. I'll take that any day of the week. And heck, I'll have seconds. But your winner, Michael Kostick. My goodness. Let's take a look at the results, see where everybody finished. We'll get your interviews, and we'll get you out of here. Michael Kostick, Daniel Cunningham, Cody McElwain, your top 3. Jacob Denson comes home in the 4th position. Patrick Drabick recovers for that 5th spot. Lucas Lyons in 6th. Jacob Ellingson in 7th. Mickey Isaac in 8th. Brandon Wallace in 9th. And Jamie Barkins rounds out top 10. In 11th, Keith Haney. Great recovery for him. He was 19 spots from where he started. Started 31st, finished 11th. Great job by the 81. He was actually involved in an incident, had to take a crash repair, kept at it, got back into that end of the race. Chance Taylor in 12th. Lance Rivka in 13th. Bobby Germain in 14th. Greg Von Traeger in 15th. 16th, Mike George. 17th, Travis Bieber. 18th, Daniel Blow. 19th, Andy Kurtz. And Alex Cruz rounds out the top 20. In 21st, Rusty Rafferty. Chris Sawyer, last week's winner, comes home in 22nd. 23rd, Tyler Justice. George Jewell in 24th. John Anthony in 25th. Gary Wright, 26th. 27th is Matt Knights. 28th, Carson Reed. Johnny Cofield in 29th. 30th is Timothy Jones. 31st, Jeremiah Holt and Michael McCarthy out of this one. They had a tough race. And I tell you, that was an incredible race. So much fun to watch. Can't wait to talk to these guys. It's going to be a good interview. Let's go ahead and get them in here. Of course, we want to start with our winner, Michael Kostick. We'll bring him up into the booth in just a moment. This dang music out of here. Golly. Can't hear him if you're playing music. Let's get him in here. The winner, Michael Kostick. This Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Eddie.
Hey, well, we talked a little bit the other day. You say you're not much, don't have a lot to say in these interviews, but man, when you win, what about when you win? Do you got a lot to say? Because, man, that was a pretty good race. Iowa's tough because as tires start to wear, it gets, and I'll make sure to ask 2 or 3 questions before I let you speak. But it seemed like it was tough to pass after the tires sort of wore out a little bit. But man, able to get the win. Talk to me about how difficult it was to pass out there. What it was like. What it was. What was the car driving like tonight?
The car was loose. I like loose, but yeah, passing was just the inside was nearly impossible unless you had a huge tire advantage or the guy on the high side kind of showed a little mercy. It was just too hard to keep the throttle in it off the corner without getting loose and keeping the speed up and the momentum on the high side. So I think track position was pretty key here. As soon as that caution came out before we came into pit that last time, it's kind of what I was hoping for because I know I couldn't pass a 79. I couldn't get by pretty much anybody. So, yeah, just trying to play the track position game. Once I got out front, just guard the high side and hopefully hold everybody off.
Yeah, I mean, and they say in racing, if you follow the leader, you'll always stay behind them, and so doing something different on that pit cycle. I mean, green flag stops. How about that? The first non-plate race to get some green flag stops. Well, you didn't. The other guys did, and it kind of messed them up. But yeah, talk about that decision because once they come down and you get 3 or 4 laps before you come down pit road, you're pretty much set to run to the end. How many more laps could you run if you wanted to, and what was your plan?
I think I still had 25 or 30 more laps on fuel, but I wasn't gonna push it that far. I was just kind of waiting for the cycle to end. I know how sketchy it felt on new tires, so if you kind of got a little eager on the throttle off one of the corners, I seen a couple people down on the front stretch infield, so just kind of banking on a caution there. It worked out for a change. Usually the strategy isn't my game, so yeah, it was good to play through it. Green flag stops are always good. I didn't practice getting on the pit road, so I was kind of happy the caution came out, but yeah.
Yeah, well, then you had to battle with your teammate. I mean, Lucas Line threw everything at him. It's kind of bittersweet because I know the answer is you had to feel pretty confident knowing that outside line was pretty strong once the tires started to wear. At any point, were you kind of worried but that he might get around you, or would you feel pretty confident that whole time?
I got a little worried when he threw it into 3 and 4 that one time. If he would have jumped up the track a little sooner, I think he would have cleared me out at the lift, but I was able to just hold momentum just a little bit and get back to the outside of him. But yeah, but with Lucas, you never really know what he's going to throw at you, so you kind of got to be ready for everything. He's pretty unpredictable at times, but usually in a good way. So it's fun battling with him. He's aggressive but controlled. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, man, hey, started in third tonight. You got the win with a great strategy call and just raw speed. You're up in the front all race long, and now you're locked into the playoffs. How about that? So what a great way to be locked in this early in the season. Now you get to kind of chill and just have a good time until the playoffs start. Man, congratulations on that win. That was a well-deserved win. And as always, man, who you got to thank here tonight?
of course, thank you and B Speed for doing the broadcast. You guys always do a great job. Hidden Wit Brewery, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, of course, and Above the Yellow Line, my teammates at Bandits, and everybody at Goat Locker Racing for all the work they do.
All right, well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Michael Kostick, takes the victory here at Iowa. Well, let's bring in second place. He was up front all race long. Daniel Cunningham, this is Eddie in the booth. Man, a great start for your season. Started in fifth and come home with that second place finish. What was the race like out there? You were kind of in that top five all race long. Seemed like the racing was pretty hard, pretty stout. What was it like out there for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a scrap out there all race. This track is hard to pass. I seem to remember some previous races that I've run here where the broadcast was called the Iowa Sucks whatever lap length the race was. And for good reason, because it's not the most fun track to drive sometimes. But yeah, I mean, early on in the run, it was a lot of fun. You could kind of make the bottom work. You could make some moves on people. There was just more things you could do. But it seemed like once you got about 15, 20 laps in, you had to have a pretty big advantage over somebody to pass them without them making a mistake. So, yeah, hard fought night. It may have put on some. Probably put on some good racing on the broadcast though, with just a lot of the side by side because it did take so long to set up and complete a pass.
Yeah, I mean the racing was definitely top notch. You had that strategy call, staying out, bandits, staying out there, run long, knowing that it's going to be tough if they pit early to jump them and then make those passes. So do something to really kind of generate some separation. And then you got that caution, and boy, you had to have a big old smile on your face knowing that that really worked out in y'all's favor. Kind of eliminated some potential race winning drivers and let you guys fight it out amongst yourself, which you did there at the end. I mean, a three-way battle between teammates. Seemed like it was a lot of fun out there. Was it as fun as it looked?
Yeah, it was. And the caution, part of me, I was happy to see it because it did do exactly what we thought, that there would be a caution in the middle of the pit cycle. But I was really, really close to being able to make it on fuel at the end. I think from where that caution came out, I probably could have saved enough. I don't know if other guys would have been able to. It was kind of in the back of my mind from the beginning of the run. If we go the whole way, we might, with the way that the tires fall off and the pace falls off, I might be able to just save enough naturally without having to, do any of the other little tricks to stretch it out. So, yeah, kind of a good news, bad news thing. Like, hey, we still got a tire advantage over a lot of the field, and a lot of the really fast guys got caught a lap down, which, I've been in that spot before too. I know it's frustrating, but yeah, I kind of wanted it to go green though, just to see how that was going to play out if would have been able to make it.
Yeah, that would have been really exciting. You did have those fresh tires coming back up through the field. Were there any discussions about that, or were you kind of happy? Did you feel confident knowing that they were going to probably burn them up, or kind of what was y'all's thoughts as you saw folks like Cody McElwain, Jacob Denson, Patrick Dravick start to work themselves up there towards you, and Cody actually put a lot of pressure on you. Were you confident knowing that it was going to be tough to make that pass, or did y'all get a little bit worried?
I'll be honest, I didn't even realize that the fresh tires were there until Cody was about half a second back of me. I kind of, at that point, I was really focusing forward, watching what Kostick and Lucas were doing with their battle for the lead. And I noticed it. I saw him make a pass on somebody behind me on the bottom, and I'm like, oh shoot, he's got pretty fresh tires here. But I mean, once he made the pass for third, I kind of had it in my mind like just run the top, get those runs off of the turn, and as many laps as we had since the caution, it was going to be hard for him to pull it off. He was going to have to just really drive it in hard, which is difficult to do here anyway. Once you get some laps on the tires with all the bumps and everything. So yeah, there's really, once he got to third, it's just my mind went into let's play defense and try to hang on to what we got here.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what you did. You came away with a second place finish. Great run by you. Great race all around. Man, who you got to thank here tonight?
Yeah, appreciate you guys at V Speed doing the broadcast. You always do a phenomenal job. Thanks to Pat and Jamie and all the admins that do all the work in this series. They've really busted tail this off season with getting these fields filled out, and of course all the work that they've done with the sponsors in the league, with Hidden Wit Brewery, Jam Printing and Promotions doing the pole award, all the associate sponsors, I guess we'll say, with Alexander PC, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, Above the Yellow Line. And then thanks to all the guys over at Bandits Motorsports, feel like we work pretty well together most of the night and communicate and trying to help each other out, and Ghost Energy and SM Race Products.
All righty. Well, there you have it. Second place, Daniel Cunningham. Is he able to complete the 1-2 sweep there for Bandits Motorsports? Is we're trying to get Cody McElwain in here in just a second. We'll try to get the mic to work in the in Discord. I don't know what's going on there, but let's get him in here. Cody McElwain, this Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Golly, it's been a while, man. I was wondering if I was gonna get to talk to you tonight, and man, you kind of let's go back. I mean, first off, how you doing, man?
Good, man, good. Just been I got a new job, moved to a different state, so I just took some time off trying to get settled, and finally got settled in, man. I'm doing good and glad to be back.
Man, well, we're glad to have you. I like saying your name, so I like when you're in the races. Man, you started back in 9th place, and it seemed like it was a tough race, tough go at it for a while. You were just trying to find your way and trying to find the rhythm and groove. And I said during the race, when you're out of the game for a while, no matter how good you are, it takes a while to get back into it. Is that kind of what you were feeling?
Exactly, man. I told the guys before we started, I said, man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I said, I'm kind of nervous. I mean, I've been racing some, in the break, but just a lot of road. I haven't done a lot of oval, side by side, inches apart. And I told them, I said, man, I am nervous. It's been so long. So, yeah, it's like you said, I was just trying to be extra cautious at the beginning and just try to get my feet back under me a little bit. And when I got a feel for it, we finally started, making some decent laps and moving up through the field. But, yeah, it's like you said, man, just trying to ease back in.
Yeah, and then there at the end, I mean, my goodness, you were able to get those fresh tires, and you had an advantage. And Jacob Denton was in front of you, and he kind of got stuck behind. Not stuck. I mean, he just their guys were battling side by side, and the opportunity opened up. You're able to get down to the bottom and get around him. All of a sudden, you're the guy furthest up on fresh tires, and you started picking them off really quickly. Did you kind of let that thought seep in? I might win this thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew it when we were restarting. I can't remember where we were, 12th and 13th or something like that. And I knew Jacob. I knew I was racing him, to be the highest car with the tire advantage. And if I was able to get by him, I seen him kind of get held up, so I just sent it into the next corner, just trying to get by him, and I did, and it worked out. And like you said, I was picking them off pretty good, but I just roasted them, man. I ran out when I got to behind Cunningham there. I couldn't. I had nothing left. I was giving it all I had, but I couldn't. It's so hard on the bottom here, unless you are at a really big advantage, and my advantage was gone by then. So,
well,
we gave it our best shot there.
Yeah, I mean, no better way to jump back into it, man. To have some strategy work out in your work out your way, and then be on the offense there at the end. That's had to have been a lot of fun. So, man, congratulations on that podium, 3rd place finish for Cody McElwain. And man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank? I don't even know. You remember how to do this?
Oh, yeah, man. I got it. Yeah, I'd just like to shout out all the sponsors. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Whip Brewery, the sponsor for tonight's race and this series. Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jam Printing and Promotion, McConey Setup Shop, V-Speed, and NASRA 360. Just a few more. Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, of course, and then Above the Yellow Line. All these guys make what we do possible, and we can't thank them enough. And we appreciate you in the booth, man.
Well, we're glad to have you back, man, on the track. It's definitely it felt a little bit lonely out there without Cody McElwain, so we're glad to have you back, brother.
Glad to be back, man. I appreciate you.
There you have it. 3rd place finisher, Cody McElwain. As man, that'll do it for us here tonight. Oh, I'll tell you what, hey, if that don't get you excited, I don't know what does, man. You better get ready for some racing this week. Man, we're gonna have some really, really good races through the week. But that's great. I mean, that sets the bar high. I gotta tell you, if you're the other series, you got to be kind of going, oh gosh, how we're gonna top this, and it's gonna be tough. Man, what a great race that was. Take a look at the schedule, and we got Iowa this week, and then Miami. Homestead next week. Boy, that'll be a last. I mean, that track is unbelievable these days. Tire saving, multiple lines, fuel saving, it's got it all. So it's going to be just a slobber knocker if I were to get an old wrestling term. Then you got Watkins Glen, Dover, Kentucky, Richmond, Milwaukee Mile, Michigan, and Charlotte to round out your regular season. So not that many races. So locking yourself in is a big, big deal. And for right now, Chris Sawyer and Michael Kostick locked into the playoffs. Who's going to do it next week? We're going to find it all out here on B-Speed. So hope y'all are ready for that. It should be a lot of fun. Thank all of our sponsors again. Of course, Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of the fall series, and Hidden Wit Brewery for the sponsorship of this series. And I'm Eddie Smith for V-Speed, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, and everybody who does work at V-Speed. I want to thank y'all. Pat and Jamie over at Goat Locker, they do such a great job. And all of the other sponsors, Jam Printing Promotions, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Nasties, Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, and so many others that make all this possible. All the things that the nonprofit's doing definitely got to make everybody. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me tonight. That was a good hour-and-a-half race, man. We love those. Great race here at Iowa. Dr. Kostick is your winner. We'll see you next week. Y'all be good.